All right, welcome back to another 2021 MLB draft show. I'm noticeably more excited tonight than I am in some of the other interviews. Tonight we have another Seattle native on the show. We've got Max Debiec, West Seattle actually, committed to the University of Washington. Max, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
Of course, man. Kind of just want to start off this interview. I just kind of want you to give us like an interpretation of yourself for the viewers out there, for any fan base that when you get drafted, who you're going to be with. Kind of just get the fans, who Max Debiec is and everything is the pitch arsenal.
Yeah, so I guess I'd say I'm a fun guy, funny, outgoing, social, likes to interact with humans, loyal, just a chill person. I'd say that's who I am the most. Don't really like talking about myself, so humble. So yeah, that's a little brief description.
Well, how about a pitch repertoire? Tell us about your fastball. Tell us about that slider that you like to show off, curveball, changeup. Kind of give us an idea of where those sit velo-wise and how you like to pitch to hitters.
Yeah, so I throw 5 pitches right now. I throw both a 4-seam and a 2-seam fastball. And then I throw a knuckle curve, a slider, and a changeup for my off-speed pitches. Fastball, it's been up there high velo. It's been up to like 97. Trying to sit in that around that area, get consistent with it. 2-seam is like low 9s, mid 90s. It's a good pitch for me to get ground out. It's a really good situational pitch. And then slider and curveball, knuckle curve. Knuckle curve I've been throwing for a while. It's just been a really reliant pitch I've been used to and easy to go to. And then slider, I just started. Slider and 2-seam I started throwing this past summer. Slider I started throwing midway through the summer. So still getting used to that. It's in like the low 80s, knuckle curves in like the high 7s. And then I go change up. I recently just switched the grip, so I go 2-seam change up, working with my pitching coach, Sean White, who's an ex-Mariner, ex-Brave. So he's been helping me with that, just getting me more comfortable with my change up. Didn't throw it much this last season. So, yeah, I'm just getting more comfortable with it.
Every pitch in the pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. And you bring up 97. If I remember correctly, that was your PG National velocity, what you came out as. Kind of just get us through that experience, because if I remember correctly, you were kind of just more like lower 90s maybe a couple weeks before, and then all of a sudden you're just out here pumping 96, 97 on one of the biggest stages of the summer circuit.
Yeah, so, I mean, going into it, like the circuit, like Washington was really shut down. There's no gyms open, nowhere to train. So I kind of mostly had to train outside, and I didn't, as some of the other guys in the country, they probably got a little high school season, maybe some scrimmages before to get some pitching down, but I didn't really have that. So my first like outing and was at Lake Point a week before PG National, and I think I was up to 95 there. So I just was going into it. I had a lot of adrenaline. I knew this event was a big one to get to the All-American game, and that was one of the goals I had for myself. And I just had a lot of adrenaline and was really looking forward to the event. I was excited. Blood was pumping, and I was just really wanting to show out well for the scouts and for all the MLB teams there as well.
Max, I want to talk to you about something, a challenge, if you will, that you deal with on the mound that maybe some others don't. You're 6'7". You've got long arms, long levers. As they say, a lot of moving pieces. How has it been for you growing up over the last 2-3 years, and learning how to pitch with your body there? It's a big tempo thing. It's a big feel thing. So how has that developed for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, there's not a lot of us, I guess. But Over the years, I've just always been tall, like tallest in the class, tallest on team. So I haven't had like much of a growth spurt or any of that back issues. So, I mean, I think I've dealt with it fine. I mean, I'm still growing into my body and getting to know my body and just using all my little parts of my body pitching wise. So, I don't think like in my head it hasn't gone to me like, wow, you're 6'7", you're long, long limbs. I kind of use it more to advantage. You don't see much guys. I mean, there's like me, Andy Payner, and there's not a lot of us out there. But yeah,
Tall guys unite. I love it.
Tyler, we're not a part of that crew.
I'm 6'3". I got some height.
Are you? Okay. Well, Tyler, I'm not a part of that gang.
Say the airplanes really buzz your head at this height.
Oh, yeah.
It's like at that height, but kind of just want to talk about your mechanics as well, because we kind of touched into it. You know, you're 6'7", like Joe said, you know, long limbs. Has there been something that you worked on specifically trying to like keep your mechanics consistent through your delivery, or is there anything that you've worked on to try to like smooth everything out?
Yeah, so consistency is one of the big things I've been working on, just being really consistent with my mechanics for strikes and locating and all that. But one thing I'm really working on with my pitching coach is kind of getting my release point extended out there. I kind of finished with my back being straight and vertically. So kind of getting more back bend and getting out there so the fastball looks harder out of the hand and it just looks harder in miles per hour and spin rate, all that. And then also kind of like using my glove side, pulling into my body for momentum and force and torque mostly. So those are two big things. And then also kind of my pitching coach is big into getting strong in the legs. So driving off the back leg and really getting all your body into it, not just your arms. So I'd say those are the big three things.
Being I don't want to make this all about being tall, but it is an interesting conversation point. Is there someone in the big leagues, or maybe someone that previously pitched in the big leagues, that you kind of model your game after, or that you see similarities that you try to emulate?
Yeah, so I mean, there's been like some scouts have like said some similarities. Like one scout said I kind of look like Joe Musgrove, kind of same like body type and mechanics there. But I've really been watching Jacob DeGrom. Try to model my game after him. He's one of the best in the game. He's tall, he's slim, kind of like me. His mechanics are just flawless. And I've really been looking at him. And then in person, I've actually been fortunate to watch James Paxton live a couple of times. He works out at the same place I do. He's also a big guy. He's a lefty, though. He's just a monster. He's really good, and he just chucks the ball with like no effort. So I'd say those three are the big ones.
Awesome. I'm also jealous of you seeing James Paxton and working out the same spot. I wish I could have someone like that close by that I can just have that similarity.
Perks of Seattle, man. Perks of Seattle.
Let me come out there, please. Just like, for the record, I live out in North Carolina. There's nothing going on here. It's literally just cold and just rain. That's literally all it is right now. Trying to think of another question here. Kind of just talk us through the rest of the summer, honestly, because I know I saw your area codes with the Royals, and if I remember correctly, you weren't at Jupiter for World Wood Bat. So kind of just talk to us about the whole end of the summer after PG National.
Yeah, so being on the Canes, I mean, it's one of the most prestigious teams out there. But I mean, going into it, I was a little nervous going the circuit. I kind of was like a no name out there and just wanted to fit in. But I just like the Canes, it's like a brotherhood. I made so many friendships over this summer, and we still all talk to this day. Ask everyone how's everyone doing and things like that. But biggest takeaway is I just had a blast. Also got learned a lot of things. Kind of learned what it's like being on my own because everything was in the Southeast, and so me and Malachi basically roomed together the whole summer, which was great. That was awesome. But yeah, so biggest takeaway is I just had a blast, but I also learned so many things. The pitching coach for the Canes taught me a lot. Petty taught me a lot. And I love competing with the best of the best in the country. So that was a good takeaway. You don't get that a lot in Washington, but Washington's underrated in baseball. I'd say that for sure. Yeah, I'd say it was a blast, and just competing with the best was two things.
First of all, Washington is underrated for baseball. I'll give you that. I want to jump into tech because, you seem like a guy that's pretty tuned into spin rates and extension, and it sounds like your pitching coach has gotten you engaged in that a little bit. How big of a part of your routine is, stepping in and taking readings on a Rapsodo or getting your release points down on an Edgertronic? Is that something that you try to employ weekly, monthly?
I'm actually not like I know what the technology means, like all the Rapsodo stuff, but I'm not like really big into it. I'd say I'm just like average. My pitching coach just recently got the Rapsodo this year, so just looking at that and then looking at my results, I tend to do that after bullpens and things like that. But I'm not that big of a tech guy like Bauer is and all them tech gurus. But so I just say I just try to improve my results. Also, I just try to learn, try to like get an understanding from what my pitching coach is trying to tell me, and visually, luckily, I get to see him during these times. So I wouldn't say I'm a big tech guy, just like average.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Joey, got any more baseball questions by chance?
I just have one, Max. My only question left would be, you've obviously made big strides on the mechanical side as far as tempo goes over the last 6 or 7 months. I want to know what the next 6 or 7 months looks like, because you've obviously got the University of Washington staring at you 9 months from now, 8 months from now, maybe even sooner. But you've also got the big league draft coming up next July, and that looms large. I want to know how you are looking to grow as a pitcher in the next 6-7 months.
Yeah, I really just want to polish my game, just be really consistent and just dominate in my games. I mean, if I do struggle in my outings, just keep learning from it and go from there. But mainly I'd say polish it and just try to get better in every category I need to get at. And then just learning. I like to study a lot of things, study a lot of pitchers, study hitters whoever we're gonna play. That's a big thing, but mainly polish myself and just get myself better.
All right. Well, the last question of these interviews is always something to keep you on your toes. We've talked to a lot of guys from the Canes team now. We've talked to Alex. We've talked to Coach Jeff. We've talked to Malachi. We've talked to J.R. Ritchie. And a few others that I'm sure I'm forgetting. But I wanted to ask you, Max, you've got the chance now to be on the hot seat. Who's got the worst sense of style on Canes?
Oh, gosh. I mean, we all were kind of just repping the Kane stuff because they give us so much stuff. I don't even know. I don't even remember, I just remember people in their uniform and with all their swag on, all their accessories. But I honestly don't have a answer for that.
All right, I gotta keep you on your toes, so I'll give you one more. Do you have any habits on the baseball field that you think contribute? Do you not step on the white lines? Do you have something before every game? Do you eat gummy bears in between innings? What's kind of your thing?
Yeah, no stepping on the line one is for sure. I'm trying to think of one more specific to myself. Shoot, I kind of try to before I go to bed, kind of visualize how I do pitching wise. That helps me do well. Just trying to clear my mind and just focus on what I'm going to try to do the next day and in the game. So I'd say that.
A student of the game, Max Debiec. Max, it's been a pleasure having you on. We're obviously big fans. I mean, I'm a Pacific Northwest guy myself, so I've seen you throw quite a few times at this point. But I know Tyler's a fan. We're really looking forward to seeing what you bring to the field over the next 6 months, how you continue to grow, and looking forward to seeing what you do at either the University of Washington or where you end up next July. Thank you for joining us, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right.
You're welcome.